What's up, guys? Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Today, I'm going to give you an update on my program. Hope you guys been doing well. I myself have been dealing with exams, which that's the reason to why I haven't been able to do these types of videos of like just me talking and explaining topics. And I was just spamming workout footage. But now that the exams are pretty much finished, I can dedicate more time and yeah, basically do these types of videos more often. I expect the PowerPoint presentations to make a comeback, um, and I think that those type of videos are the most valuable of the channel, even though they may not be the ones that get the most views. Um, they are highly replayable, if you will, because of the information, and it also satisfies me in the sense that it gives you tools for you to coach yourself and to build your own program and to forge your own path. So, without further rambling, we can start. First of all, I want to say that I kept the template the exact same as the previous U Hero program. Upper lower arms, basically. The only difference that I made is that I moved the vertical pressing from the arm days to the upper days. The reason to why I did this is because I still believe there was, even though I myself, when I was doing the program, I was running it, I didn't experience any type of overlap. I still believe that on paper there is like overlap, like with the incline push-ups and with vertical pressing. So I just, to be sure, I decided to just put the vertical pressing back into the upper days. Also, I have found that when I was doing the upper days, I would end up just doing junk volume because I wanted to justify um, basically I wanted to justify having the vertical pressing of the arm day, so I just added an extra horizontal variation that didn't add much. So I just decided to, hey, let's just fuck that variation, add the vertical pressing to the upper days, and have your arm days be purely back and arm days. So because you have to train your back every day, okay? Now that's non-negotiable. That's the main change. But now in the program, in terms of exercise selection, I changed a couple of things, and I think that you're going to like it, and I myself like the exercises, the new exercises that I have incorporated. Also, regarding sets, I have a new philosophy for lower body, and for upper body, I'm going to explain it now. We are going to start. Um, First of all, let me get a sip of water. There we go. So the first superset. The first superset is going to be full RTO push-ups or pseudo planche push-ups. I'm gonna be honest, what I have been doing the last 4 months is full RTO push-ups, 3 to 6 sets of 5 to 10 reps. Couple that with L-sit chin-ups, 4 to 6 sets of 6 to 10 reps. Now, you might be looking at it and be like, why 6 sets? And that's because it's my only push-up variation. Now, would you find some benefit in incorporating an extra push-up variation and doing 3 and 3 instead of just one doing 6 sets? Some people will. I myself have experienced the opposite. I have determined that a low amount of exercise selection in the session in itself works better for me. And if I want to rotate, I'm going to rotate through the week. So variety. So one week I might do full RTO push-ups, and if I feel very beat up or my joints start aching in the certain areas that the full RTO push-ups work, I'm going to switch to the pseudo planche push-ups to work the muscles differently the next week. I'm not going to add another variation just for the sake of it. I find that I keep myself focused with just one exercise. Also, it allows me to learn, basically learn or to acquire the skill of the movement, which when going near failure allows you to grind out those extra reps and to really push the intensity on those. Um, I have compared footage of me a couple of months ago to now, and I realized, hey, you have been getting way better at the movement at pushing to failure. So that's another added benefit. On top of that, what I have found that prevents or delays the need to rotate or to have a higher exercise selection is just a simple tweak, which is control the eccentric, slow it down as much as you want to, pause at the bottom, and then pause at the top. That's allows me to basically extend the period of time that I can do a movement, and on top of that, allows me to get more out of less weight. So pretty good. Then the LC chin-ups, they are a great movement for the lats because of the spinal flexion, the close grip, the supinated grip, which allows you to keep yourself in a tucked position. And on top of that, there are pull-ups. Of course, they are very tough. I can do, I think, at least 15 pull-ups right now, like just body weight. And with these ones, I can barely get 7 reps, even less if I pause at the bottom, pause at the top, and slow down the eccentric. It's a really hard movement. It works your core to a certain extent as well. What I like to do is go full L sit, then bend my knees a little, and then have my knees to my chest, which remains with the spinal flexion, but basically takes the abs out of the movement, or to a great degree, if not completely. Really good movement, really recommended if you want to grow your lats. Now, we move on to the second superset, which is going to be a very underrated movement, in my opinion, ring pike push-ups. Not only do you get the full stretch of the shoulder, you can also have the benefits of ring push-ups, which is full rotation. You can open up the grip, you can close it, you can do neutral, pronated, supinated if you want to. You can do a mix mid rep, right? You can rotate as you are doing the repetitions. You can do mechanical drop sets for shoulders, for example. Let's say you want to just work your shoulders, then you can do ring pike push-ups with fully braced abs, keeping yourself in an L formation, and then you start to do it more like a regular pike push-up in which you lean forward but then you push back. You can do it like that, or you can do ring pike push-up, like any of the previous that I mentioned before, and then move on to turn it into a decline push-up. So you basically start with a ring pike push-up, and then as you reach failure over and over again, you start to turn it into a more decline push-up, which works more of the upper chest. Then we couple that with, if I want to, this one is optional, bodyweight pullovers or front lever pull-ups. Uh, Basically, if I did, for example, 4 sets of L-sit chin-ups, and I think I need a little bit extra volume, I can do any of these two movements, and they allow me to accumulate a little bit extra volume to just finish off the lats for the day. Then we have the isolation portion, which is pelican curls or one-arm ring curls. I'm gonna be honest, I just do pelican curls. They're my main variation for biceps, with incline curls, and that's it. I don't do any more bicep movements. Then we have ring face pulls, which is going to be 8 to 15, both of them to failure and beyond. Then we have ring extensions or band katana extensions if my tendons are aching, which they ever since I bought the bands, basically I haven't had any tendon issues. So really recommend you buying bands. But just in case I have that variation, ring extensions. Now, ring extensions are very underrated in the sense that they are going to stretch the shit out of your triceps. They are very easy to do mechanical drop sets. If you control the eccentric, you're really going to feel those triceps really getting destroyed. And they are very tough. You have basically unlimited progression with this movement. The only cons I have to say about this movement is that they are very tough on the elbows, and they work your core to a great extent. So if you don't have the core strength or don't care about abs, yeah, it's not going to be the perfect movement. Although you can modify yourself, like you can do more of a pike push-up formation to remove the abs out of the equation. And yeah, that's for the ring extensions. I have it incorporated here because I like to practice the movement a lot because of what I previously mentioned about the full RTO push-ups. And at the same time, if I don't do that movement very often, once I stop and return, my joints don't really like it as much. They basically are crying throughout the whole set. So I prefer to keep that thing, like my joints, warm to the movement, in case um, I have to do more volume of it just one day. For example, let's just say a band of mine breaks, and until I get another band, I have to do more ring extensions. My joints will be able to take it. So yeah, just to reinforce that. Then we have leg raises and fat grip pull-ups. Just an AMRAP to finish off the abs. I'm working abs every single day or every single training day, and fat grip pull-ups to work the forearms. It's a nice pair because I do the fat grip pull-ups, then I do the leg raises, and I tire my forearms, and at the same time I tire my abs. So pretty good. And one thing I want to add of the day is that um, for the full RTO push-ups. The reason to why I do 6 sets as the cap and not more is because I have found that 10 to 12 sets per week for chest is more than enough. I would say it's the moderate amount of volume you'd need to grow, especially if you're pushing it to failure and beyond as you can with ring push-ups. So yeah, I have noticed that a lot of people do, especially strong people, which makes sense because the intensity is so high that you probably won't need a lot of volume. And because I artificially increase the intensity via effort, right, like proximity to failure, it makes a similar effect. So yeah, 10 to 12, more than enough for most people. And if you're going beyond failure, yeah, it's probably on the higher side. So yeah, in the no section, try to stay in the middle of the volume range. Only go lower if you're not recovered. Go higher if not progressing via reps. Beyond failure for all movements, unless you're not recovered, just do them on isolation. So basically, if I'm not recovered, I'm not going to go beyond failure on push-ups, pull-ups, pike push-ups, the front lever pull-ups, but I'm still going to go with the bodyweight pullover, with the pelican curls, and with the ring facials. So yeah, that's basically it. Then we move on to the lower day. We have trap bar deadlift or squats. Imagine it just says trap bar deadlift because that's what I do usually. Now you can see 2 to 4 sets of 4 to 8 or 6 to 10 in the case of squats. Now 2 to 4. Before I was doing, I'm not shitting you, 4 to 6 sets of trap bar deadlifts. That was my sole leg volume, and let's just say it didn't work out so well because my recovery got absolutely destroyed. So I realized that hey, heavy hitters are good in small doses. So trap bar deadlifts are what I call a general builder in terms of they're going to work in general the lower body, the spinal rectors, the lower back, all that kind of stuff in tandem. So like everything completely. They're not like, for example, in the second exercise, a good morning, in which it's mainly a hinge movement. It's a general movement, if you will. Now, the reason to why heavy hitters are best done in a low dosage is because all of the tonnage that you receive gets diffused. So it's a good way to hit a lot of muscles in just one movement, right? But the problem is that if you want to grow a certain area, you will have to basically receive a lot of extra fatigue and extra tonnage for other areas. So, and also on top of that, because you use more muscles, you have to use a higher load, which puts more axial load, and it pretty much fucks up everything. So that's why stimulus to fatigue ratio should be taken into account. But heavy hitters still have a purpose in the program to hit a lot of muscle groups in just one go. Then we have coupled that with neck curls and neck extensions. Of course, you have to have neck work. Then we have trap bar deadlifts or good mornings. As you can see, we have a better stimulus to fatigue ratio movement to hit the hamstrings and the glutes. And it's not a full body movement anymore. It's more of a bias compound, if you will, in the 8 to 12 or 10 to 15 rep range. Couple that with adductors. You have to really work on your adductors. I don't care where you put it or when you put it in your program, just put it in. Do not take this clip out of context. Just put the adductors in some place of your program and work them. Then we move on to the third superset, which is going to be Helms rows, calf raises, twist leg raises, and dead hangs or hammer curls. Although it says superset 4, it is actually what happens because if you look at the set range for Helms rows, I usually do the 6 sets because I haven't worked my back that day. And as I go, I finish with the calf raises, which I usually do 3 sets. Then I move on to the twist leg raises, and I end up doing just the hammer curls or the dead hangs by themselves. Now, Helms rows, supported dumbbell row, they are pretty good. I like them. They are concentric focus, so they are hardest at the top, like most rows. So what I would recommend is to do partials after you finish to get all of the possible stretch you can get. So let's say you fail at the to get 100% of the range of motion, you get 90. Keep going until you get 80, and then you keep going until you get like 70, 60, 50, until you're doing basically partial reps at the beginning of the movement, just to really get the most out of the movement. It's not going to cost that much extra fatigue. If you're not an idiot like I am, like what I used to do before was to go to failure, do the partials, and then do cheated reps, which again kind of fucked me up in terms of recovery. So although I can do that, I'm going to use it sparingly now. The more you know. Then the calf raises, you have to train your calves, dude. Do it. It's not going to take long. Just it doesn't even have to be like super elaborate. Just you finish doing your rows and you step on the bench and you do a couple extra one-legged calf raises with just your body weight. If it has to be that, just find a way to train them. I don't care how. Train your calves. Then we have twist leg raises to train the obliques and serratus, sorry, and a little bit of abs as well. Also decompress the spine a little. And then we have dead hangs, which you can do in tandem with the twist leg raises. You can do like twist leg raises, and once you fail, you just hang there until your forearms give out, which is a good idea. But I like to do my hammer curls because I want to grow my brachialis as well. Now, the node section lean towards the lower side because we are working with heavy hitters, you know, and I don't really want my leg work to stop or to interfere with my upper body gains. So yeah, RIR should be 4 to 2 for trap bar deadlifts and good mornings. Not too much to say here, and what I previously talked about. So we move on to arm day number 1. We start out with a lat bias row or a rack chin, just to get the lats out of the way. 3 to 5 sets of as many reps as possible. We couple that with band extensions or pushdowns with one arm to warm up the elbows, because later we're going to be doing ring extensions. So it's imperative that we warm up the area and we manage to get all the blood there, and that will help us to prevent pain and to prevent any type of damage to the tendon. It's not the same to work the tendon when it's cold than to warm it up with an easy or with a movement that is tendon friendly and then do the movement. It's going to be way better that way. Now, we have pelican curls. I never found any type of bicep tendonitis issues, so I don't need to warm up for this one, so I just go straight up pelican curls. Then we have ring hammer curls, either with a towel or just grabbing the ring by itself. Ring face pulls, rowing to the face. You can do 2 variations of the ring face pull, either rowing to your face or with external rotation. The rowing to the face is more of a hypertrophy type of movement, and the external rotation is more towards shoulder health. Both are great, and you should incorporate both. Then we have, of course, the ring extensions for a lot of volumes here is the volume that I count. I don't count these ones for hypertrophy volume. I just say, hey, this is for warming up my elbows. This is what I count, the ring extensions. And you're going to compare this with the second arm day. It's low volume, actually. And there's a reason, and that is that, first of all, I don't have a lot of variation to train my triceps. But secondly, these ones with just 5 sets absolutely blast your triceps and leaves them completely destroyed. So yeah, really good movement, at least in terms of hypertrophy, not so much in terms of tendon health. Ab work, of course. Now this movement, give me a sec. I'm going to sip water. White flies, in my opinion, are the best lateral raise variation. I'm not crazy. I wouldn't say it's a fact, but it's close to it. They are basically, if you compare cable face pulls and ring face pulls come out on top. because they get a better stretch. On top of that, you can do mechanical drop sets. They are comfortable to do. You have found that cable face pulls are pretty awkward. On top of that, they are very stable, but the most important thing is that stretch and that ability to do the mechanical drop set. Well, that's the same thing here with the Y flies and the lateral races. They're really, really, really good. You have to really dedicate yourselves to them because they're going to absolutely massacre your shoulders, especially the lateral head. So definitely do them, and they are less taxing on the shoulders than regular dumbbell lateral raises. So definitely give it a shot. When you do your ring push-ups, you can finish off with Y flies, and I bet my ass you're not going to regret it. So that one, or ring reverse flies, um, kind of the same here, same thing here compared to dumbbell reverse flies, but a little bit less because these ones are a little bit more awkward, and they're very easy to turn into a ring lateral raise, which it exists. So yeah, now you have seen the symbol in this context. It means basically to do 1 to 2 mechanical drop sets. Yeah, 1 to 2. And on top of that, you can do either assisted concentric reps or partials. So basically going balls to the wall on each set. Basically torture yourself throughout the set as much as you can. Rep range in these movements means where to reach failure. So for example, for pelican curls, you want to reach failure in the 8 to 15 range. For ring extensions, 6 to 15. The range is a little bit wider because if you go balls to the wall on this movement, you'll experience a lot of reps drop off. So yeah, that's basically it for the arm day. Then we move on to upper two. We start off with ring pike push-ups or deficit handstand push-ups. This one is also a great movement, but I still prefer the ring pike push-ups. Now, oh, let me delete that. There we go. I'm going to sip water again, and I'm going to go on a full tangent about this movement. So, I was doing wide grip ring pull-ups, and I said, hey, I want to try to do pull-ups on the bar, right? I did the thumbless grip, and I found it pretty awkward to do because basically I don't have a straight slope bar. You know, like with power racks, you have the slopes at the sides, which allow you to do wide grip pull-ups comfortably. I can't. I don't have that. Sorry, so I can't lay my whole hand on top of the bar. I have a straight bar, so either my elbows want to come in, or I start using more of my arms, which makes the movement a hell to do. So what I thought was, hey, let's try it with straps. I have seen a lot of people do them with straps. Let's see what happens. Even though I'm very purist when it comes to pull-ups, I think that you should do them strapless. But when I try them, holy shit! I have to say it right now, and that is that wide grip pull-ups are my favorite. Like with straps, let me clarify that. Wide grip pull-ups done on a straight bar with straps are my favorite pull-up variation, and I think they are the best for hypertrophy. The reason is you see me do a shit ton of rows, as you can see on the lower days, a shit ton of vertical pulling on the upper days, but with just, I think it was 5 sets of wide grip bar pull-ups, I got absolutely destroyed. Not only in the lats, like my lat pain was like lat DOMs, sorry, was insane. But on top of that, my rhomboids, my traps, my rear delts, every single muscle of the back that it wasn't the lower back got hammered, dude, like hard. So do not also take this clip out of context. Um, it was absolutely brutal, and I highly recommend them. And the only issue that they may have is that if you dive bomb the eccentrics, you might not get as much out of the movement, and on top of that, you might have a higher risk of injury. But don't be a fucking idiot and just slow down the eccentric, pause at the bottom, pause at the top, and you're going to get insane gains. You're going to get an insane stimulus for this movement. On top of that, it's very tough. So if you want to remain in the moderate rep range of 6 to 12, you can probably do it. And a lot of people might actually have to go 4 to 8 on this type of movement. So it's basically the Bulgarian split squat. Sorry, at this time of the day, I'm pretty much done. But I'm still going to record this. The wide grip pull-ups are the Bulgarian split squats for back, basically. Absolutely insane movement. Highly recommended. Then, speaking of Bulgarian, we move on to Bulgarian push-ups or deficit decline push-ups. These ones, if compared to the full RTO push-ups, these ones are more volume E. They are more spammable, so you can basically make up for the lack of volume if you had on the first upper day. Let's say you did just 4 sets. Well, on this day you do 6 sets, and just in case you don't or you won't be able to reach those 6 sets, you have later ring chest flies, which I think it's a great idea to just have that cushion in case of not being able to fulfill the volume with just the push-ups. We couple that with fat grip pull-ups to work on the forearms because the wide grip pull-ups basically obliterate your back. So let's just fill in the rest of the volume with a more forearm focused movement. Then we have ring chest flies, ring face pulls with its external rotation for shoulder health. We have a lot of pressing on the program, so I think it's pretty fair to just add more shoulder health type of thing. Then we have, of course, twisting leg raises. Then we move on to the lower two, which have three amazing movements, which are basically variations of the same type of movement. Going to sip water again because I'm going on another tangent. So we have the first movement is going to be Herzoviak rows, which are basically cheated T-bar rows. They are a replacement for hinges, so RDLs or stuff like that, or conventional deadlifts. Um, you basically want to load up as much, not as much weight as you want, but you want to load a heavy amount of weight. You want to use the D handle for this one and a belt. I really recommend a belt for this one. You basically put yourself in a T-bar row position, and then you start cheating like a motherfucker to get the weight up, and then you try to control the eccentric as much as you can on the way down. A good tip I can give is that when pulling up the bar with the plates, you basically lean on your heels, and then when you're slowing down the eccentric, you basically let your feet, the whole feet rest on the floor. I don't know, that just helps me feel the posterior chain better. And at the same time, I don't know why it boosts the stretch at the bottom, so pretty good. Then you have neck curls, neck extensions, of course, more neck work. Then we have strict T-bar rows because I still have to do um, a lot of back volume. But unlike the previous lower day in which I had good mornings, which trained the spinal erectors to a pretty much great degree or an amazing degree, um, I don't have this on this day, on this specific day. So I have strict T-bar rows instead of the Helms rows to help me train a little bit extra the spinal erectors while also training my back. Paused at the top, at the bottom, slow eccentric, and I can even do it on a deficit, which in this case is not necessary because in the gym there are plates that are small enough for me to like just stack them all together and do the T-bar rows like that. The only thing is that I can't protract the scapula at the bottom, but I find it very awkward to do that with the D handle. That's when the third T-bar row variation comes in. But before that, I'm going to mention calf raises. Train your calves. Don't be an idiot. Now we can move on to the one arm deficit T-bar rows. This movement is pretty good. It gives a massive stretch, and the reason to why I do it on a deficit is because the spinal erectors, the lower back, is basically removed from the equation. So what I do is I elevate my feet so the bar goes even lower, and I can protract my scapula, and I rest my my other arm on my legs, right, and I kind of crouch a little, and it allows me to really stretch the shit out of the upper back and of the lats, and then when going up, it makes the contraction even harder, so it's pretty good. They are very grindable as well, and we couple that with the adductors. Then we finish off with leg raises and either dead hangs or reverse curls. So as you can see, this lower day is way more upper back focused than the previous one. Then we finish off with the second arms day, which technically is higher volume, but it doesn't give me as much of DOMs as the first arm day, but it's still a really good day. It's the longest one, I think, of the two. So we start off with cable pushdowns to warm up the elbows. If I want to, I can do easy bar extensions. I haven't done them in a while. 4 to 5 sets, I know it's a lot, but 8 to 15 plus going to failure, as I previously said, mechanical drop set. And or in this case, it would be just doing partials and rest pausing. So what I would do is fail at the cable pushdowns. After getting a massive grindy rep, I will slow down the eccentric to go back. And if I can't get another rep, I rest 5 to 10 seconds, then I grab the ropes again and I try to get a couple extra reps and like that. And once I can't get full range of motion, I cheat a little to get that extra stretches. And that's when I finish the first set. And we do 4 to 5 sets like that. We couple that with incline curls and with reverse flies or cable face pulls. Just because I'm already using the cable station, why not make it my pitch basically and do another movement on top of that, superset it so no one is going to steal my cable station. It happens at the gym, you know. Then we are going to have hammer curls, fat grip or regular, incline or standing, just to switch it up compared to the previous reverse curls to make it different enough. Then we have lateral raises with dumbbells or upright rows with dumbbells, 10 to 20. Again, going beyond failure. And then we have cable extensions, leaning away, J-off style, 3 to 6 sets. Yeah. So I could even do. Um, I basically have a rule for this day, and that is that I can't exceed 10 sets. I can only do up to 10 sets. So I can do 4, and then you'll see that in this case I won't do more than 2. So let's say I did 4, I can do even 6 of these ones and just skip this one. But we have 3 to 6 of 8 to 15, the same way with pushdowns, rest pause, and cheated reps. We have easy bar pullovers or chin-ups, nothing crazy here. AMRAP or 8 to 12. Then we have twisting leg raises, and then after all of that, we finish off with the cable extensions, strict version, or the dips machine, 10 to 20. I should put an AMRAP here because I maxed the I maxed the dips machine, and I can do 15 reps with the machine, and eventually I'm going to get more than 20, but that's fine. Probably going to find a way to add more weight though. And yeah, I'm going to do the remaining sets. So let's say I did 4 and 3, I could do 3 here, or if I did 5 and 5 here, I would just skip this. And yeah, that's basically it for the program for today. As you can see, I blast the muscles that I want to grow with a lot of volume and a lot of frequency. And yeah, I try to squeeze in isolation wherever I can. I don't like to have holes in my program that are not in, that are unintentional. Quads, as you can see, there's a serious lack of quads in the program, and that is because I don't find them aesthetic. So if I can grow them through the fused tonnage a little bit, that's all I need. I don't care about quads that much. I know Davin is probably watching this and yelling at the screen, but that's fine. And yeah, I would like to hear your thoughts. Leave it in the comments below. Be on be basically waiting for more of these type of videos. Next time I'm probably going to be talking to the camera directly, and I'm going to try to start editing my videos once I manage to find the rhythm of recording this type of videos again. As you can see, I was stuttering like a motherfucker throughout the whole video, and that is because I lost a little bit of practice. But again, as I get better, I'm going to get into the rhythm, and then I'm going to start editing the videos probably. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Well, good night in this case, and thanks for watching.